So when you do travel for maybe extended periods of time, maybe on a vacation or visiting family, and you leave your home unattended, especially in the winter, there's some things that maybe someone who is going to break in will look for. So what kind of tips to help prevent any break-ins when you're gone, or just to protect your home during the winter season?
Well, first off, it's kind of a old school thing, but just get to know your neighbors, right? If you're friendly with your neighbors and they know when you're going to be gone and when you're going to be home, and they understand that they might need to look after your house a little bit while you're gone, that's fantastic, because neighbors helping neighbors, and a lot of times people don't know that somebody has broken into their house until they get home. If somebody can call us right away and say, hey, there was a vehicle in the driveway, it looks suspicious, I know that my neighbors aren't supposed to be home, then maybe we can have some success in catching somebody and keeping the neighborhood safe. So that would be the first thing. Secondly, after you leave, unplug your garage door opener. If you park your vehicle in the driveway, your second vehicle in the driveway, and you leave, and you've got your garage door opener in there, even if the vehicle's locked, really it's just a pane of glass that's protecting your house at that point. If somebody breaks your window or picks your lock, they can open your garage without any hesitation.
I've never thought of that before.
Yep, absolutely. They close the door behind them and they can stay there as long as they want, because there's really nothing suspicious going on at that point. So unplug your garage door opener for sure. If you have timers on your lights, use the timers. And just know that we will do property checks for you. So if you call the police department, or if you go onto our website, you can let us know that you're going to be gone, and we'll do vacation property checks.
So, and with that, you kind of drive the neighborhood and kind of...
We do more than that.
Oh,
we actually, if we specifically know that your house at 123 Main Street is going to be vacant for 3 or 4 days, our officers have a list of those houses. They go to those houses. They pull in the driveway, they get out, they walk around, they make sure that all your doors are locked, your windows are locked, and that everything looks safe, that there aren't any footprints that shouldn't be there. And then we document that. And then when you come home, we take you off the list, and we can actually provide you with the documentation that shows when and where we were at your house.
And I feel like the police department has been doing that service for quite some time now.
At least 17 years, 'cause that's how long I've been here.
So and then besides putting your lights on timers, and I mean locking up, locking your car, locking your vehicle, I mean, there is still the chance that someone could break in, but it helps deter them a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. If you keep your everything locked up, your vehicles, your house, and double check, maybe have a second person check too, because there may be a window that you forgot to check or don't even think about. Have a second person check, and you should be good.
Okay. And one more thing I always like to bring up, we live in the world of social media.
Yes, we do.
And when people travel, sometimes they're tempted to post their travel plans, which I know the police department kind of frowns upon. Can you add to that? Yeah,
absolutely. That's a great point. If you're putting it out there for everybody that, hey, I'm not going to be home, you may as well put a sign out front, right? That says, come check out my house because it's going to be vacant for a few days. Don't do that. Just wait till you get home to start posting all your pics and telling everybody that where you went for your vacation.
在6月25日本周二，摩尔点镇区消防部门举行了一场展示新的救援设备救生钳的演示活动。这场演示在 Central Fire Station 举行，媒体和公众都被邀请到现场观看。摩尔点镇区消防部门与 Hazlitt Oakamus 扶轮社合作，获得了1万美元的补助金，并从摩尔点镇区理事会那里获得了额外8000美元的拨款。这笔资金还用来购置工具、加油泵、延长喷水软管和救生钳的配件。车辆事故的救援行动会根据严重程度来决定移除车辆哪些部件，从而救出被困的人员。消防部门警长 Mike Hamill 为我们介绍了摩尔点镇区1年收到脱困救援的案件数目。我们每年大概会收到20到30起被困案件，再加上会支援周边其他地区消防部门。如果他们需要额外的人手，我们也会帮忙。每一起事故情况各不相同。在过去的6个月内，我们已经处理了一些发生在 I-96 公路，还有在 Grand River 往 Williamston 方向上发生的严重事故。本次设备升级将同样为 Alledon、Bath、Delhi、East Lansing 和 Williamston 社区，包括 I-69和 I-96高速公路提供互助救援。摩尔点镇区警察局在6月24日本周一对人事进行了一些调整。 社区成员在市政楼齐聚一堂，庆祝一位新警察的加入，以及一位已经工作17年的警察的升职。Andy Tobias 接受了警官的职位，并表示对他职业生涯的下一阶段而感到激动，恭喜这2位警官，并希望他们工作顺利。夏季已经来临，7月4日也近在眼前。墨尔本镇区警察和消防部门提醒居民，节日庆祝期间注意烟花燃放安全。点燃烟花前，仔细阅读警告标签和燃放效果，不要在吸食毒品和饮用酒精饮料后燃放烟花。请不要让孩子燃放烟花。任何负责燃放烟花或者靠近烟花的人需佩戴保护眼镜。不用的烟花应在水中浸泡几个小时后再丢弃。了解更多有关烟花燃放的条例和须知，请访问墨尔本镇区网站 3w.meridian.mi.us。Okemos 学区已经放假几周了，但如果你走进 A 走廊或者食堂，就会发现有些教室还在开放。这已经是第42年 Okemos 举行为期7周的特殊需求夏令营了。从6月17号开始，夏令营为全年龄段需要特殊照顾的人员开设。周1、周3和周5，夏令营成员们会走出教室，去 Impression 5科技中心、Hawk Island 公园和动物园参观，参加各种活动。周2和周4，他们会在高中的游泳池内游泳。每个中午，夏令营成员们会分成小组，轮流参加烹饪、艺术手工、体育和游戏等不同活动。参加的孩子和大人们都能从活动中学习日常生活中重要技能。这是个很好的项目，对于有特殊需求的个人来说，不管大人还是孩子，都能够结识新朋友，尝试新的事物，参与到社区生活中，并从中获得一些很棒的经历。
January is National Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and the International Labor Organization states that 40.3 million individuals are victims of human trafficking globally. It is a topic that is being talked about more as of late, but we can't stop there. We have to continue having conversations about human trafficking and spreading awareness in the community so that the public can be informed about this very real issue. And one person who is doing just that is local filmmaker Laura Swanson. Swanson and Kirk Mason, both Michigan filmmakers, produced and directed a special feature-length documentary film called Break the Chain that addresses human trafficking within Michigan communities and the United States. The film features 2 survivors of human trafficking, providing a detailed look at how trafficking goes unnoticed in our own backyards. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Laura in studio as she discussed the film. Take a look.
It is kind of a realistic look about what human trafficking actually looks like in the real world and daily life, instead of the things that you see in the movies that are over sensationalized and dramatized and oftentimes showcase only like 3% of what happens in human trafficking cases. So we wanted to take the cases that law enforcement, service providers, activists, and different nonprofit organizations were seeing on a daily basis and show it to people so that people could have more empathy and understanding for what survivors are really like, how complex this issue is, and how people can actually help and take action against human trafficking within their own communities.
You talked a little bit about you've been with Okemos for a while now. Can you tell us a little bit about your background working in the Okemos School District?
Absolutely. So I've had the privilege of working with the Okemos schools since I was an intern teacher during my 5th year at Michigan State University. I was fortunate enough to be placed at Chippewa Middle School under the leadership of Dr. Tom Twitty at the time, and knew right away that this was a place that I wanted to spend my educational career, because the community was so intertwined with the schools and just so supportive of supporting the educational mission to meet the needs of all kids, which also meant supporting teachers and what teachers need to be successful. So instead of leaving after my internship year and going back to New York, where I'm from, I knew I wanted to stay in Okemos. Fortunate enough to have been hired as then a teacher at the middle school, and spent about 5 years being the 6th and 7th grade teacher and directing some musicals there. Also fortunate enough at that time to be elected as the Teachers Union president, and learn a lot about leadership and organizational systems through that. And then after that, I shifted to a larger classroom, being elementary school principal at Edgewood Elementary School for a few years. until that school closed because of the recession. And then principal at Wardcliffe Elementary School for about 5 years. Wonderful community, great experience there. And then returned to my roots at Chippewa Middle School, where I was the intern and the teacher as the principal after that for about 3 years.
Come back full circle.
Come back full circle. And the district still fighting through recessions and kind of becoming lean, then restructured the district. And Chippewa went away from being a 6, 7, 8 school to a 7, 8 school. And our other middle school, Kinawa, which was a 6, 7, 8 school, went to be a 5, 6 school. So I became the 5, 6 principal at Kinawa. We developed a great new program for our students and staff there. I spent 6 years as the principal there, and then transitioned to central office. Got another bigger classroom to be our assistant superintendent for instruction, which I've done for the last 2.5 years. And then so fortunate and honored to be the superintendent, have the board appoint me as superintendent after the interview process this January. So kind of fresh at the job, but not new to Okemos.
I just want to know, how did you get interested in pistol shooting, Judy?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I took a year off to study music after I got my undergraduate degree in psychology. During that year, I was playing flute day in, day out, and music, which had been my, it had been an avocation. It had been something I really enjoyed. It was a hobby, a nice hobby, but it wasn't something I was planning to make my living at. I was doing it all the time. So I was looking for something different to try. And there was a guy in the orchestra that was a dedicated, back then we called it bullseye shooter. And also that same year, it was 1973, the university pistol range had for the very first time been opened to women. So I was a budding feminist at that point, and so I thought, all right, a first ever chance, let's go try it out. So I had no particular interest in pistol shooting, but I just wanted to try something different and get a break from the music. So I tried it out and liked it, and it just took off from there.
Now, I know that you said that learning how to play the flute was a little bit difficult. Would you say that that was more difficult than learning how to do the pistol shooting?
Oh, they're so different.
Yeah.
However, there's a cross-training effect, music and pistol shooting.
Okay.
Oh, really? Seriously.
Wow.
The fine, the dexterity, the fine control of your hand is very important for pistol shooting, and of course, obviously important for flute.
Yeah.
Also, as a flute player, for instance, performing in an orchestra, you've got to be in the present moment all the time. You can't sort of relax and say, well, I think I'll come in at bar 54 if I feel like it. I mean, you've got to be right with it. That sort of concentration and focus is real useful for precision pistol shooting.
That makes a lot of sense.
And also performing under pressure. Handling performance pressure in a concert situation and handling match pressure at a shooting competition are very similar. Additionally, and you can shut me up if you want, I can go on and on. When you're a musician, you are performing and you are being watched.
Exactly.
As a woman in this sport, I was always being watched. There were very, very few women starting out. So the fact that I was used to being watched and needing to perform under pressure while being watched, that I had learned as a musician,
It wasn't new
was
to
very
you.
helpful.
Yeah.
This time last year was, a lot different for you. It was a completely different story. You were going through a diagnosis and a treatment. So could you take me through that?
Sure, yeah. We found out on January 13th that I had cancer. We got the official diagnosis about a couple weeks later that it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. We started radiation at the end of January, and I had 10 rounds of radiation, and then I started my chemotherapy treatments February 9th, and I had 8 chemotherapy treatments.
Wow. And, coaching, that's no joke. It's very time consuming and at times can be very stressful. So what role did that play in your recovery?
Just the support that I received from the team and from the girls last year. They would stop over and see me. They'd stop in and see how my kids were doing. They'd bring meals over, they'd call, they'd text. And just that support made me realize just how close-knit we were, and that and as I started to get better and better reports from my doctors, I knew that once I got the all clear that I would be back coaching.
And is there a certain moment in your recovery or your treatment that stands out to you that you'd like to share with us?
I think just all the support that we received from the community. I mean, we had 6 months of meals delivered to our home. We had neighbors snow blow our driveway and our sidewalk throughout the winter. We had neighbors and friends mow our lawn and put mulch in our yard and take care of our weeds and make sure our kids were picked up from the bus and from school, and just incredible people that live in this community that reached out to help us with anything we needed. And it was just, it's hard to put in words for my wife and I and our family just how important it was.
Yeah, and clearly you're a basketball coach, so the sport means a lot to you. So what has basketball meant to you in this, whole time?
I think it's given me kind of some normalcy back. Being able to put my focus into practice times and to game prep and it's another step in kind of the recovery where things are kind of back to normal. Things are how we want them to be, and I'm not worried about doctor's appointments or checkups or scans or anything like that. Now I can just focus on teaching and coaching, which is what I love.
And what is maybe a piece of advice or something that you would tell someone who maybe just received a diagnosis or is about to go through treatment? What would you tell someone?
Sure. I had wonderful advice from Chris Woodworth, who is also a fellow cancer survivor, and I coached her daughter Tegan last year, and she came over. Her and her husband came over. I think the first Saturday that we were home after the diagnosis, and she said. The one bit of advice that she gave me that really stuck with me was she said that you're going to have dark moments, and those are places that you can visit, but you can't live there. And she said you always got to be looking forward and thinking positive. And I think that's what I would try to communicate to someone who was recently diagnosed is cancer is always going to be a part of your story, and that's okay, but it doesn't have to be the final chapter.